involved a collision with an Iranian drone. Ed Donahue has more.
A drone boat rescued the crew of the Apache attack helicopter that crashed. The president said they were not injured. Before he accused Iran of downing the U.S. helicopter, President Trump had expressed renewed optimism over negotiations with Iran, saying they were close to having a very, very good, strong, powerful deal. I'm Ed Donahue.
Cuba's top diplomat to the U.S. calls the Trump administration's latest moves against Cuba's government maneuvering for something more aggressive. AP diplomatic correspondent Matt Lee.
They see the sanctions that were imposed on the Cuban president and other top members of the government last week, along with the indictment of the former president, Raul Castro, as being pretexts. They believe that the Trump administration is trying to prepare the U.S. public for some kind of military intervention, which they absolutely think is unnecessary and they don't want. The Cubans don't want.
House Republicans have passed a nearly $70 billion bill to fund immigration enforcement agencies for the next 3 years. It now goes to the president to be signed into law. Home sales surged last month to the fastest pace since December. The National Association of Realtors reports existing home sales rose 3.2% in May. The national median sales price increased to more than $429,000. Tech shares dragged the Nasdaq down nearly a full 1%. The S&P lost 0.3%, but the Dow rose 86 points. And primary elections are being held in Maine, Nevada, South Carolina, and North Dakota. This is AP News. People are starting to arrive for this year's World Cup, but Gethin Coolbaugh reports at least one's been turned away.
Somali referee Omar Artan won't officiate in the World Cup after being denied entry into the United States. FIFA confirmed that Artan wouldn't be able to train and officiate. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
And Charles de Ledesma reports.
FIFA has revoked the ticket allocation for Iran fans at the team's 3 World Cup games in the US. Each federation for the 48 teams taking part is entitled to receive and distribute 8% of capacity for each of its games, adding up to several thousands of tickets. Just days before Iran opens its World Cup, the federation claims that it is now unable to provide any tickets to its supporters. The claim adds to the turmoil between Iranian soccer, FIFA and tournament co-host the US. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
There's more news at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
The Constitution is America's foundational document that every U.S. citizen should know. It establishes rights, responsibilities, and governmental roles. This knowledge isn't just for politicians, but for us as everyday Americans. Citizens need to understand what the Constitution says and what it doesn't say, because it protects our unalienable rights, rights no one can take away or infringe. Without knowledge of our constitutional rights, we will fail to realize when they are violated.
Liberty. It's an American thing. From AmericanThing.org.
My name is Emma. I am 13 years old. 6 years ago, I was injured in a car accident that left me paralyzed from the waist down. Once I completed rehab, my mom applied for a canine companion service dog. Last January, I finally got to meet my service dog, Marcia. We quickly developed a very strong bond. Together, we go to my horseback riding lessons, school band practice, swim meets, and archery classes. Together, we pick vegetables, and we like to cut flowers. I love Marcia. She makes me feel like together we can do anything. I can't imagine life without her. She's a part of the family. We are just one of the thousands of teams Canine Companions has paired together over the past 50 years. With your help, we can continue for another 50. Visit canine.org to see the many ways you can change lives.
I can tell that we are gonna be friends.
The road to Adelup is in full swing. We recently spoke with Democrat candidates Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio and Senator Tina Munia Barnes to learn more about their vision for Guam. Catch the full conversation that took place on May 26th on the Wave 105's YouTube channel. This is a glimpses of Guam radio station.
Balanced, fair, thoughtful. Wave 105 FM. In the
the afternoon. Welcome to the show. This is the BrightSide right here on the Wave 105. We are KGUM FM, Dedido Guam. My name is Ryan St. Nicholas. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's bring up the host of the show, Mr. Pauly Suba. Buenas.
And we do want to thank our sponsors. That's Chili's Grill and Bar. Chili's, more life, great food, and memories happen here. Subway, you got to refresh to be fresh. Triple J, remember, one night, one reveal, one all-new 2026 Mazda CX-5. Join Triple J Mazda at the Tumon Night Market Sunday, June 14. And Triple J Mazda, design to move. We also have GTA. We start with you. Welcome to it, another Bright Side right here on Wave 105, 671-922-1051 or 1052. We are online, thewave105.com, as well as our YouTube channel, Wave 105.1 FM Guam. Biba Medcalis.
Biba.
Ryan and I are going to be here until about 4. Well, Ryan will stay the whole show.
Of course.
Odin Fino tomorrow takes over from 4 to 6. Every Wednesday, thanks to the University of Guam Tomorrow Studies Program, Senor Ron Laguatna hosts the show alongside Senor Hale. And so, again, that's coming up at 4. But so in the meantime, there is a, let me just pull this up so I can get context here. There was a video that started circulating on YouTube. And it's from an individual that posts stateside, and he interviews individuals that are homeless. And there's a video that has been circulating. It's a fresh video, too. I believe he posted this video maybe 14 hours ago now.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even a full day yet.
Right. And it happens to be a woman that claims to be Philoma Luke. Right? And Philoma and her sister, Melina, they went missing in May of 2011.
Yeah.
They were just 10 and 9 when they vanished near a bus stop in Astil in Saipan. Wenzel, there's a woman by the name of Josephine Wenzel that I remember. She's the founder of Angels of Justice. And she was here in Guam back in October of 2025, I believe. And so she has been looking for these girls this whole time, right? She went to meet the FBI and says federal agents remain committed to solving the case when she was being interviewed when she was out here in October. And so at the time, she was asking anyone with information to call her directly, gave her number. Wenzel grew up in Guam and now lives in Washington State. And she was saying that silence only protects the guilty and warns that whoever took the girls may still pose a threat. She said, and for all you mothers out there, you should be outraged. You should all be concerned that 2 innocent children in your little island were taken and there are no answers. This was an interview or maybe quotes that were taken from KPRG when she was out here on October 15th through the 17th as one of the presenters at the 3rd Regional Forensic Science Symposium in Guam. And so this year, 2026, marks 15 years since the girls disappeared.
Wow.
The FBI Honolulu field office is encouraging the public to share any information about the case and is offering a reward of $25,000 for tips. that lead to the sisters' whereabouts. They are still on the list. In the FBI website. Seeking information, Floma and Milena Luke, missing May 25, 2011, Saipan, Northern Mariana Islands, $25,000 reward for information leading to the whereabouts of Floma and Milena. There's a picture of Floma at age 10 and what she could look like at age 15. Same thing with her sister Milena. Floma Luke, February 9, 2001 is her date of birth, hair brown, eyes brown, and Asian Pacific Islander. If, again, you have any information concerning this person, please contact FBI Saipan directly at 670-322-6934. So Patty shared with me this morning that I think the Marianas Variety had a story. I didn't see it, but I recently do remember seeing that there is still a cold case out there, a missing persons case out there here in Guam for a Borja that went missing a couple years back as well, over in Pauget.
Yeah.
And so when she shared that, it reminded me of another teenager, right? A teenager that I believe is still missing here in Guam. And so I didn't realize that what the Marianas Variety was talking about was a very fresh video that is circulating on YouTube on an individual. He kind of reminds me of what Planet Guam does. Have you ever seen Planet Guam? If you YouTube it, it's basically a YouTuber that goes around
And
the island and interviews those that are houseless.
Yeah.
And so this YouTube is Real, Right, and Uncut.
Yeah.
And in the bio of Real, Right, and Uncut, drug addiction, alcoholism, homelessness, mental health awareness, and interviews. Donations keeps this channel running. If you would like to help, please send a donation to $, the Real Big Host. Right? If you ever need to talk, please feel free to call me, and gives his number. Right? This individual has posted thousands of videos already. Thousands. And so the video that we're talking about was posted 16 hours ago on YouTube. And it's titled Floma Luke Found Alive After Being Reported Missing Since 2010. Actually, 2000, since she was 10, back in 2011. It's got 30,000 views. But this individual since has already posted 3 other videos.
Oh, wow.
Because there are some people that I've already read, like, this is all scripted. I'm like, well, clearly this guy, if you just look at his YouTube, he's not in on the act.
Yeah.
There's evidence on his own site that shows that he has been doing this for quite some time now, right? However, so we have got confirmation via the Marianas Business Journal that the FBI is taking this video seriously.
Yes.
And they are now investigating.
I read somewhere where even Congressman
King Hines is on it too.
She's
Yes.
in communication
Right.
with the FBI, trying to see if this video is real or not.
Well, the video's real.
Well,
now
you know,
is the individual
the characters in it
who she says is who she says she is. So we're gonna play it in its entirety.
Yeah.
Again, so here's the thing for me. Just when I first saw the video, I'm not gonna discredit what this woman is saying. Clearly, she has been through it, but it is very interesting. It really is. It's a developing story. So I'm not going to make any assumptions. However, it is something that I'm very glad the FBI is taking a look at. All right, you can play it.
Yeah. See what? Oh, you recording? Okay. Where the money?
You just got to
listen, man. Hey,
right?
You tripping?
On the board?
You don't trust me or something? Why you don't trust me?
I don't trust nobody.
You can wear my glasses?
Let me see.
Not even the audition button is on. So let me get that, the program button. Okay. All right, here we go.
wear my glasses?
Let me see. Let me see.
Oh, and I
See what?
also censored it too, so we cleaned it up.
Where the money?
Listen, man. Hey, you tripping?
No, you not.
You don't trust me or something? Why you don't trust me?
I don't trust nobody. Definitely not.
Hold on. First, I want to make sure that you willing to keep it honest and give me a good video.
Yeah, I got you.
Cause you was kind of scared to even do it. Can't have a radio on my video now. You're doing too much. Nah, I can't do all that. This is a YouTube video. I can't be putting other people's music on my channel.
All right.
You pretty now. Get in here and rap and take over my. Look at you dropping my glasses and stuff. What's your nickname?
My nickname.
Yeah, ain't it?
Hell.
It's popping. I hear it popping.
My nickname is Mia. My real name is Paloma Luck.
Paloma?
Yes.
Why, you don't got to put your real name on here.
I'm from the Sapans.
What's that?
I'm missing. I've been missing.
Why you pulling your hair out?
I've been missing since I was 10 years old.
I'm making sure you leave. How old are you?
Oh, I'm 24.
Okay, you grown woman now.
I got 2 birthdays though. When I was 16, they wanted me to be 18. So.
When you was 16,
My birthday.
Who wanted you to be 18?
12/24/99.
You getting out too much information.
My real birthday is.
I want to know your real birthday.
February 9th, 2001.
What the hell?
And I'm trying to get back to Washington D.C.
What part of D.C.? You from the southeast side?
Honestly, I don't know.
You from Frederick Douglass?
Somewhere around.
Y'all heard about to lock up.
Go get me a
you need
hair
to
brush.
You need to comb.
I need to go get my hair.
You too pretty. You too pretty to be out here just thugging. I don't know if you know who I am or not. I videos about people that's out here struggling with addiction. And when I seen you, I was going to meet somebody at the Oaks Motel, but you flagged me down. I told you, she think I want a trick. So let me turn around and ask her if she interested in doing a video. So that's what we here. I want to know your story. How you end up out there, doing your 1-2?
Hanging around the wrong people.
How old were you when you first
started smoking crack?
Nah, I didn't get to that part yet. I was gonna ask you, how old were you when you first started experiencing the street lifestyle? That can be. What's in that bottle?
When I was 10 years old. That's
10?
water.
Smell like mouthwash. You just gonna pick my vape up and you just take
I need this vape. This vape.
But you didn't even ask me for it. You just gonna take.
Yeah, I need a cigarette.
10 years old. Who introduced you to the lifestyle at 10 years old?
I was kidnapped when I was 10 years old. I was at the bus stop waiting on to go to school. And I was in the Sapans and somebody kidnapped me. You can actually find me on YouTube under Paloma Luck. Missing from Azteo Street.
You say you was in the what now? You keep saying that name. Now I'm gonna pay you. I got you.
Alright, we finna be done with
No,
this video.
10 minutes. That's how long the video gonna be.
Let me see.
I ain't even. What you want to see? Wait 3 minutes. But talk about that. Talk about the situation. You say somebody picked you up. But how did they introduce you to the lifestyle? Just because somebody picked you up, then how did that lead you to the streets?
It led me to the streets. I was on the way to school and I was kidnapped and they brought me here. And
you been missing since then? God. So when you got a little older, why you didn't contact? No, you ain't gonna take my phone. You picking up too much. That's going on. So listen, when you got older, why you didn't contact your family?
Because I ain't got no phone.
Man,
I need a computer or something.
You might not have had a phone at 10 years old. When you got 16, 17, and start getting high and doing whatever you did, why you ain't contacting them?
Oh, my phone.
How old were you when you started smoking crack?
Oh, I just started smoking crack like a few months ago.
What made you decide to do? You got the gold teeth in your mouth. Like you getting money. What made you decide to start smoking crack a couple months ago? Crack is like an old school drug. Most young people don't do that. So what led you to that?
What led me to that?
Yeah.
Hanging around the wrong.
When you first decided, when you first gave in and said, okay, let me try this, what were your thoughts and what were your feelings?
Hey, I needed to get my kids back and get my mother.
You took a blast and then started thinking positive? Mm-hmm. Smoking crack, do you ever put any action behind your positive thoughts when you get high?
Yeah.
What's your living situation?
I'm actually homeless at the moment.
What is it gonna take for you to get back on your feet?
Probably getting my kids back, getting me some.
I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying. How can you get back on your feet to get your kids back?
Thinking about turning myself in for that money that I'm missing for.
Oh yeah.
And either they gonna deport me or they gonna give me my money.
You like are you Asian descent? You like
no.
What is you doing? You don't look white or black or Indian, none of that.
I'm Hispanic.
Oh, are you? Okay, you're Hispanic. Okay, I can go for that. Making the plays. When you see me, you try to flag me down. When you first did that, the very first time, how did you feel? Knowing that you done got to the point where you're willing to do that for money.
How much longer is the video? We're finna go to the library.
Okay, you're gonna have to answer the question before I end the video, though.
Hey, what was the question?
The question was, when you first decided to start making plays, how did you feel? And I asked you that because a lot of women say they felt dirty and they felt they got in the shower and did all this shit.
I don't be making plays for real.
So why you want to flag me, though?
Because I just be asking people for money for real. I'm trying to get me a job or get back to my DoorDash or get me another car or something. You know what I'm saying? That's about it. Give me somewhere to live.
Right. Do you think you'll be able to get back on your feet and get your kids back as long as you got addiction?
Surely is.
Think you can?
Yeah.
When your kids get older, would you want them to follow your footsteps?
No.
You wouldn't? So just in case there was a group of young people right there watching us, and they wanted to try the lifestyle, what would you say to stop them from trying the lifestyle?
Don't go that way, go the other way.
Why is that?
Because it's just facts.
What would happen if they go this way?
You don't know what road you might end up on.
That's a fact. What's your nickname again? I'm trying to end the video.
Paloma Luck.
Paloma Luck. I'm going. Your ass is crazy. You wild.
All right. So, I mean, it's definitely eye-opening, right? I mean, this woman claims to be Paloma Luke, who again disappeared in Saipan in 2011. My first question would be like, where's your sister? And who took you? But I also don't want to already assume that this is Paloma Luke.
Yeah.
But clearly this woman has gone through it. Clearly she's experiencing drug addiction. She's experiencing homelessness, right?
It's almost desperate, pretty much, considering that.
But she knows who Paloma Luke is. Whether she is her or not, she knows some of these details.
It's almost, and again, like you, I don't want to assume, but if a person is kidnapped and brainwashed all these years for 15 years, it's almost like she knew the person who actually took her.
Right.
Yeah, and so.
Right.
I mean, so it's like it's almost like she doesn't want to say, who took you and
Yeah. And I'm not an expert on interviewing or whatnot, right? I'm not. Clearly, I'm not. But you could see that when he starts to really ask some questions,
she started getting a little agitated.
Yes. She starts backtracking.
Yeah.
And clearly she says she's trying to get this money. They're either going to deport me or I'm going to get my money. So clearly she wants that $25,000. For what? She says it. She says why? Yeah. Because she wants to get back on her feet. She is trying to get a job. She's trying to go back to DoorDash. She's trying to get back her children. So the woman has children.
Yeah. There's a similar story to this of a little girl that was kidnapped, and she wasn't kidnapped and taken far away. She was like literally 9 miles away from her house. But the kidnapper basically locked her up and, psychologically kind of messed with her mind to the point where she even had kids with her kidnapper. And it just so happened that, she decided to run out, and then next thing you know, a car passing by, ended up helping her. And they
Is this in Utah?
I'm not too sure what state it was, but I remember watching something like this. So it kind of has similar tones to this. I mean, she does have kids, and she's not naming who she, maybe she's still afraid of this person.
Sure.
Maybe the sister is there. I don't know, but hopefully the FBI can do their investigation and put some clarity.
Well, here's a lead that has gone nowhere in the last 15 years.
Exactly.
Right? And so why does she claim to be? If she's not, why is she claiming to be? Is it because of the $25,000?
Yeah.
So there is a woman that was arrested. I was able somebody sent me this article. They'll stay anonymous. It says here, look at this article. And the article is Greensboro woman charged with armed robbery after allegedly stealing vehicle at gunpoint. The woman's name happens to be the name that she gives. She goes, my nickname is Mia. This woman's name is Mia Skylar Ayers, 25 years old. Now, it's matching up. She's like, they told me to pretend to be a certain age.
Yeah.
But really, my birthday is February 2001, which is February 9, which is Philoma's birthday. This woman is older, but you saw in the video that she claims that when she was 16, they told her to be 2 years older.
Yeah.
Greensboro woman, so this is North Carolina, not too far from Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Facing serious felony charges following an alleged armed robbery that occurred just days before Christmas, according to court records filed in Guilford County. This is just days before Christmas of 2025. Wow. So just 6 months ago. Authorities charge Mia Skylar Ayers, 25, with robbery with a dangerous weapon, a felony offense under North Carolina law, along with felony possession of stolen property stemming from an incident reported on December 23, 2025. According to a magistrate's order, Greensboro police allege that Ayers unlawfully took a 2016 Kia Sorento valued at approximately $10,000 from the presence of D. Burford. Investigators say the robbery involved an assault in which Ayers allegedly presented a black object that the victim believed to be a firearm, placing the victim's life in fear and danger. Court documents further state that Ayers knowingly possessed the stolen vehicle after the alleged robbery. She was arrested the same day by the Greensboro Police Department without a warrant after officers established probable cause for the charges. She received no bond and sits in the county jail. Ayers is currently scheduled to appear in Guilford County District Court on January 2026 at 8:15. So this had already happened by now, where the case is expected to proceed through the judicial process. At this stage, the allegations remain accusations. No convictions have been entered, and Ayers is presumed innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law. This case remains. I didn't find another article connecting to see whether or not she was found guilty for this charge, but here is the photo that is attached to this article. And she has the same tattoos on her face.
Oh, yeah. I see.
Right. So I'm going to still assume that this is the same woman in the video that we just watched. Also with the name Mia.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this woman with this photo attached to the article in Greensboro, North Carolina, has a last name, and that last name is Ayers. So if she's been through the system, there are fingerprints.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, again, this story is developing. I also just want to be respectful to the family in Saipan. So I don't want to go too deep into this and speculate and whatnot. However, it is it is alarming.
Very.
And it's one of those things where I do want to see both of them alive. And I wouldn't put any blame on anybody. All right, because again, I have to think about this 10-year-old girl and this 9-year-old girl. They went missing, and who knows what they went through. I'm not gonna shame any individual, right? But again, I do want to be very sensitive to this entire scenario because there is a family that has been waiting, that have been looking for these two children for 15 years. We'll take the break.
Yes.
2:31 in the afternoon, Wave 105.
Young or old, black or white, or anything in between. From employees to entrepreneurs, doctors to detectives, some things define us and set us apart, but there's one thing that binds us. Before anything, we are one thing. Born to be Americans, proud to be Americans. Our United States are our united fates. Know your Constitution.
Unity. It's an American thing. From AmericanThing.org.
The road to Adelup is off and running. This time, we sit down with Republican candidate Speaker Frank Blass and Dr. Mary Okada. Catch the full conversation that took place on May 7th on the Wave 105's YouTube channel. Stay informed and hear their vision for Guam's future. Wave 105 is a glimpse of Guam radio station.
All summer long, Chili's Party Platters make celebrating easy and delicious. Perfect for grad parties, family gatherings, or anytime you're feeding a crowd. Available for pickup or for delivery. Only at Chili's. Great value and memories happen here.
Celebrate every Friday of June only at Roots Hills Grill House at Guam Plaza Resort. Enjoy a Filipino fiesta buffet featuring lechon baboy, pancit, kare-kare, and more. Adults $50, children $25. Join us in honoring Philippine independence with every bite.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Half a day. This is Luella Lucinio, host of Pinas de Guam. Together with the Filipino community of Guam and Wave 105.1, we proudly celebrate Philippine Independence Month with the theme Kalayaan, Kinabukasan, Kasaysayan, Freedom, Future, History. From Guam to the Philippines, we honor our shared history, celebrate our freedom, and build our future together. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas at Guam!
The road to Adelup continues. This time, we sit down with Republican candidates. Vice Speaker Tony Atta and E.J. Calvo. Catch the full conversation that took place on May 5th on the Wave 105's YouTube channel. Stay informed and hear their vision for Guam's future. Wave 105 is a glimpse of Guam radio station.
Lord, my Lord.
2:34 in the afternoon. Welcome to the show. Wave 105. This is the Bright Side. Let's bring back the host, Mr. Pauly Suba.
All right, welcome back. You know, Father's Day is coming up, right?
When is it? This weekend?
Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah, since my daughter left,
It's just a Sunday.
It's just a regular.
It's just a regular Sunday.
Any given Sunday.
So we got a whole bunch of things to give away.
Yes.
But this is what you know what I'm going to do, because nobody can tell me what to do.
Okay.
Actually, Sunday, June 21st.
Okay.
So we still have 2 Sundays from now. So yeah, we still have to get through the 14th.
Okay.
And then Father's Day is on the 21st.
Nice.
Yeah. So we got some time. So what that means for me, because I really want to make this one special. So I know that like yesterday we gave Tori a gift certificate to Roots Hills Grill House, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking, I was like, you know what? Let's make it special for just one dad and stack all of these. So, and I'm not going to tell anybody else what to do with their giveaways, right? Because Patty's got her giveaways, and then our sister station, Power 98. But I have a set of prizes, and I'm just gonna stack it all and give it to one family.
Nice.
Yeah.
Too bad I can't play.
Like a grand prize. So I'm going to give away a cream and butter gift certificate valued at $60. $60 gets you a really nice haircut, and probably like maybe they got some, facial hair like I do, and they'll clean that up for you as well. And then another Roots Hills Grill House gift certificate, and then $100 to AutoWorks. Wow. So yes, $100. So, I mean, that's already, when you stack all of that up, that's $200 worth of prizes. So.
I like it.
Yes. So, that's what we're going to do. And so we got some time to do that. So, if you want to enter just for my giveaway, all you got to do. And so, for me to remember, just WhatsApp it. Because I'll forget I'll forget. If you leave it, it's proof that you are part of it, because we're not going to delete it from our WhatsApp. 671-922-1051. 671-922-1051. WhatsApp your story about your dad. It can be heartfelt. It can be funny. Tori yesterday talked about how her dad has been working on a truck since the Obama administration. And it's still not ready. It's still not street ready. And, I think it's endearing. I think that's just his excuse to just keep working on the truck with you. But that's how we'll do it. And then as we get closer, the week of Father's Day, we'll pick the winner from all of these WhatsApp messages. So the value is $200 when I give you all of these gift certificates, because there's also a $20 gift certificate to Jollibees. So the $20 to Jollibees, the $100 to AutoWorks, a $20 gift certificate to Roots Hills Grill House, and $60 to Cream and Butter.
Okay.
And those are all the prizes I can give away. That's not even what Patty is doing. Patty can give away, she can break it up, and she can do it however she wants. Mm-hmm. So that's only for us. That's how we're doing it.
Because all fathers are special. Well, I got a caller actually who does not have WhatsApp, but maybe
just wants to.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, put it on, and I'll just remember the name.
Okay.
I'll write it in the system.
Okay.
So they're in the running. Go for it.
Yeah, he's on the line right now.
Hafaday, Way 105. You're on the air.
Hey, Hafaday. How are you doing?
Good. So you want to be entered into the contest?
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. It's valued at $200.
Of course.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your dad.
Yeah. Well, he passed away a couple years ago, about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And,
do you mind just lowering your radio down a little?
Sure. Give me a second.
There's a little bit of feedback. I understand.
I just turned it off. Okay, so
Nice. So this what if you win, this is for you then. So go for it. Tell us about Dad.
Right on. Well, he passed away about 2.5 years ago, and I remember he bought this Talaza, and I don't remember him ever throwing the Talaza, right? But he would always talk about it. What he was good at was the Tekken, just to set the net, and we'd go by the tides and stuff like that. But coming back to Guam in the 80s, in the early 80s, I got the how you say, the hard knocks education of what it's like to be an islander. So
sure.
I remember we were out setting the Tekken. This was in Naval Station. This is when it's easier to get on base at Tipaleo, and I saw my dad and his brother-in-law, which would be my Uncle Ashu, and there they are on the rock, and they're eating something, and it was kitsu, the
Yes.
convict tang.
Yes.
Yeah, and he had my uncle he just had the lemon there in his pocket, some dunny, and little salt in a little plastic baggie, and he just ate it there. And I was looking at them like, what the hell are they eating in the middle of the ocean? So anyhow, he's always had that memory. So about maybe 2 months before he passed away, he was bedridden and going through a hard time, and he just looked at me and goes, "Go, friend, and get me some kitsu boy, and make sure you prep it like how we did in the old days." And I was like, "Oh crap! I don't even know how to throw the damn Talaza myself." So I took the Talaza out. I spent about 6 hours trying to teach myself how to throw it. This is out somewhere in Tumon across Gumatran-Kuladat, and this Taladzero saw me. He saw that I needed help, and he gave me some lessons, and I still didn't catch crap, right? So went down to gunpoint, had a beer, and then I saw this bristling of black in the distance, and I was like, man, I just wonder, right? So I just took my Talaza, my dad's Talaza, the crappy Talaza. I went out there, threw it, and I caught 6 pieces of kitsu, right? Smashed it on the rock exactly. How I saw them do it years past, and brought it to him in Naval Hospital, right? He was in comfort care at that time, and he was looking at this, and he goes, and I was all sunburned and stuff, and he goes, "Hey, you went fishing? It just took you about like 30 minutes." I was like, "Yeah, Dad, just about 30 minutes, man." And some of the nursing staff came in, the docs came in, they're like, "What is he eating?" And I said, "Hey, just let him enjoy it." But not only did he enjoy it, but so did a couple of the nurses there, and so did his doc, and they sat around just with him for like about 50 minutes, just trying to muscle through the skin of that convict tang and of the kitsu fish. And I remember that clearly being one of the last local meals that he ever really ate. And then sometime later he passed away, and I'm not trying to bring it down or anything like that. And
that's
maybe
a beautiful
it's just my own
story.
corny story of what I remember.
No, that is a beautiful
I
story.
just remember just how pleased he was, and I think I've never felt so proud of myself ever.
No, that's a beautiful story. Are you a dad yourself?
I am. I have
Nice.
4 kids myself.
There you go. Can I get your first name?
Paul.
Paul. Hey, I love that name.
You're a winner in our book.
Paul, thank you for the story. I really appreciate this. And so we're just going to put you on hold. Ryan's going to get your phone number just in case you do win. I have a funny feeling you got a very strong chance because I love that story, okay? And so as we get closer to the 21st, you should hear from us by the 18th so we can make sure that you know where to get all of this and enjoy it by Father's Day. Yeah, just in case you win, okay? If you don't get a phone call, it's because, sorry, other people came in. And so for me, it's not even about picking the best story because everybody's story is the best.
Right,
but I'm going to just do some kind, to make it fair, it'll be random. But I really appreciate you chiming in. Thank you for this, Paul.
You are welcome.
All right, so don't hang up. Ryan will just, if you don't mind. If we accidentally hang up, just call back. And so we can just get your last name now and your phone number. And obviously, I don't want to do that over the air, Paul.
That's okay.
Thank you.
No
Thank you. Okay. Wow, that is a beautiful story. I love those kinds of stories, because that's life. Whether it's your dad or your mom or your grandparents, your brother, your sister, death is a part of life. And how do people live on forever? People live on forever by the stories we tell. When we have these moments where we can talk about our loved ones and our experiences. Because look at Paul, he remembers it like it was yesterday. I mean, the way he explained it, I feel like he just did that. And that's just beautiful because we all have these stories. I mean, sometimes we think that our life isn't necessarily significant, but it is to our dads. It is to our moms. It is to our children, or our children's life are significant to us, right? And that's just beautiful. And so if you've got a story like that too, by all means, I kind of hope you don't have a because I feel like
Pauly's a winner.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That got me emotional. But I do want to thank our sponsors again. Guam Plaza Resort, Nana's Cafe, Roots Hills Grill House, AutoWorks, Jollibee, Proline, Cream and Butter. Remember to participate, send a text, or call in like Paul, because that's what makes radio so special, right? Is listening to Paul tell his story about his father. Because otherwise you're just going to hear me read the WhatsApp. But, I do want to make it... I do want to make it convenient for people. And I do understand people are at work too. They can't be caught calling the radio.
Really?
So, or use a fake name.
Yeah.
Right? People, even if they know.
Or put deal with your boss.
Even if they know it's you, they don't know 100% it's you.
Yeah.
Just deny. unless they actually are in the room while you're on the phone, right? But, we're smarter than that, right?
Yeah.
We usually go to our car. So, again, the WhatsApp line or the phone number is 671-922-1051. You can also submit your funniest or most heartfelt story just by calling and give us your dad's story.
If you are a GovGuam worker and you have lots of
leave, annual leave, yeah.
Take it. Go to your car.
Right. And there is such a thing as administrative leave, right?
Yeah. Or staff development.
I have a feeling, though, because people will take administrative leave, right? And I know I'm going to upset some people, but if you got 400 or 500 hours of annual leave, I don't think you should be taking administrative leave. I know you're going to be upset over that one. Okay, so let me see what else we got here. Oh, I just found out Mary Camacho Torres, who is running for Congress, is going to be in studio today. Biba. She will be in studio today talking with Senor Ron Laguatnia. So she's coming in. And then also Chris Flores. I believe Chris was in earlier, but he'll be back from 5 to 6. And so that's those are two guests that are going to be in today for Odin Phoenix tomorrow. We got somebody else on the line?
I certainly do.
Okay. All right. Who? Margaret. Hafaday, Margaret, you're on the air.
Hi, Pauly. I just want to say, because my dad and grandpa always reminds us that when we get together, we tell a story about him, of how he raised 17 kids.
Right.
9 boys and 8 girls. Raised us. And he went through a lot. He survived the war. And from the war, he was born and raised in Saipan and then relocated to Guam in 1951. And then he raised us. He was a farmer, a true farmer who, when he farms, he gives away what he grows. And then we turn around and whatever's left, we just go around the neighbors and pass it to them. And he was also a construction person who built houses. And he also built a house, I guess it was the one in Essen. And then, we just always talk about how he treated us so loving, and he gave us all this guidance to be humble no matter where we come from, and to have faith and hope for the future. And that is my dad, our dad. We can never forget him. He's always there in our hearts. And along with everybody, my siblings, where he raised from my oldest brother, Nisu, to my youngest sister, Dot. I'm number 10. But he gave us a lot to trust people, to honor people, and to have this humbleness when we see people that needs a help.
You know,
he was always helping neighbors.
Yeah. You know, Grandpa, and then also through you and my mom, taught me to be kind. Like, that is the most important, to be kind to each other. And he was so kind to so many people, visitors from Japan. They became best friends. They would fly back to Guam and live with Grandpa and Grandma, right? There was a boxing, like a boxing gym upstairs.
And tourists.
Right.
Yes.
And he would pick them up at the hotels and take them everywhere, right?
Yes, and house them at the house. We started the first illegal bed and breakfast back then.
You said, what'd you say, illegal? I didn't know about that.
It wasn't illegal. He was just housing them.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute, you're not paying taxes?
But they were family. Those people in Japan, when he passed away, they came to Guam and visited him.
Right.
And showed the respect towards our dad.
Right.
For regardless of where they're from, he was always there for them.
Right.
Just like us. We open our house to everybody who needs our help and support. Like our brothers, your sisters, your mom. We give our last dollar to a person that is in need.
Right.
That's your grandpa. That's my dad. And always giving. He would have an orchard of Christmas trees, and on Christmas tree, he doesn't sell them. He donates them to the neighbors, to our workers, the places where we work, and to the church. He was always a giving person. And together with our mom, they really raised us to be where we're all at, in our future, and having you kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, all in the best of life that he raised us up to be.
There's a ballroom in Nico Hotel named after him, Tun Tomas.
Yes.
And then next door is Grandma's ballroom called Tan Maria.
Maria, and Grandma's favorite sister-in-law, Tanita.
Is over there too?
Yes.
Okay.
Nanita is also named here, which was very close to your grandma. That's her brother's sister, wife.
Okay.
Deborah King's grandma?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, that's what they were named for, because the three of them speak fluent Japanese and catered to the Japanese. And back then, tourists was really great because we take them out to the community. They just don't stay at the hotel.
Right.
And we would go right with him on a bus that was given to him from the Japanese friend. It was sent to Guam. And we would ride around the island with his Japanese tourists. Also, tourists from the Thailand. Because he housed Thailand boxers. Yeah, it's so sentimental to go back and reminisce about how our growing up days are.
Right.
We also had a house, and in the beginning we would always sleep on the mat on the guafak. And then he would keep building and building, extending the house until it became 2-story, and then a store in the front.
Oh yeah,
that's the legacy.
I have
that's the legacy
some of my
for that.
My favorite memories is swimming in that pool, that fountain that was upstairs.
Oh yes, he's a great love for making things,
Right.
and he built that fountain.
Not only did he build he built the latte that's still over at Ocean View Middle School.
Yes, still standing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we would always, when we go by past there, we'd take a picture.
Mm-hmm.
And your mom's the one that showed us because that was her
Right.
project.
Right. Yeah. So what? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So he did that for free?
Yes,
Oh,
out
wow.
of his own, no funding from anybody.
Wow.
He gathered, and some of the materials were donated by the teacher, but half the time he brought his own. Yeah, he, like you say, he would give.
Right.
Whatever he could, he would help out. You know, everybody that needs help around the neighbors or
Right.
his friends or his cousins.
Right.
He even built houses at Windward Hills, the golf course. He built a house there, and I think it's still standing up to now, other than being renovated. You know, he was a great construction person.
I
And
still
labor.
remember. I still remember his truck, his ranch truck, and we would take the truck up to the ranch, and feed the pigs, and he would call me Suba Dollar.
Yes, that's the grandpa. He would always find names for us.
Yeah.
And he raises big stew chickens on Sundays. One thing about grandpa is he would take us to the ranch. And he would say, okay, it's ranch day, but you know, he's the one that does the cooking.
Oh,
He
yeah.
will fend for the vegetables and look for the chicken and cuddle the chicken, and we always sit down and just watch him.
Yeah.
That's why us girls don't cook, only the boys. Because he was there for us. Always giving.
Thank you, Auntie Margaret. I appreciate this.
Yes.
That's
We're
how
looking forward
yeah.
for our togetherness.
the reunion
of our
is
mother.
coming up, right, in July?
Yes, for our mother's family.
Okay, for Grandma. Okay.
Okay, thank you
Okay.
very much for hearing me out, because I just wanted to say, you know, every Father's Day I will reminisce about, and every day.
Right.
When we get together with my sisters,
Right.
your mom, we would always talk about our growing up days, because we'll never forget those.
Right.
Those are in our heart.
Thank you so much, Auntie Margaret.
You're welcome.
Okay.
You take care.
Okay. Take care. She can't win any of that, but I'll give her something better. Paul, your story is still good.
No, you got to take her out to dinner.
Yeah.
In celebration of your grandfather.
Right? Heck yeah. There's so many just, again, like I said, I mean, when you think about, sometimes we think our life's not significant, but when we talk about our fathers, our mothers, just people in our life, I mean, they're very special to us.
Yes.
Right? And so, again, I mean, that can't be translated via WhatsApp. When you just hear those stories and the individual calls in and says it.
Yeah. And how many characters?
It doesn't translate as well
How many
if I was
characters
reading
is WhatsApp less than 500?
something like that. Yeah, but I mean, like I said, you're still good if you do. I
Yeah.
get it, right? But listening to Paul, listening to Auntie Margaret, it's just wonderful. You can imagine, it all came back. It all came back, and it's like it was just yesterday going to the ranch with my grandpa and feeding the pigs and just getting dirty. Even though I'm, I think that's the whole reason why COVID didn't hit me so hard, is because I was in the mud with the pigs and feeding them with my hand. And then everybody's like, "What are you doing in the pig pen? Get out of there." I was when we were in Oregon, I was picking up snakes by the tail.
All good one.
Yeah. It was honestly, it was their 50th wedding anniversary that brought us back home.
Nice.
And then I think my mom just said, "We're never going back to the States."
That's usually the case, right? Yeah, that's usually the case.
So we stayed.
I've been away for 5 years, and at the time I wasn't really missing Guam. And then when it started snowing, I was like, oh gosh, man, this is not for me. And the moment I stepped out, I started feeling the heat going in through Hawaii. And I'm like, it's gonna get hotter.
It's gonna get hotter.
Come to Guam, and I'm like, heat rash on a brown skinned guy.
Yeah, I was sweating every day in school. It was rough. So I'm grateful that the air cons are now in the schools. However, now when we're looking in, like now it's almost like we have to look back and say, well, is there a way that we can open these things up so the power bill is not so expensive, right? 3:00 on the dot.
Yes.
Let's take the break. On the other side, speaking of power bills, we'll pivot to water bills. Again, this is Senator Jesse Lujan, very concerned with how much the water bill is at our park, specifically at Epau Beach Park. So we'll do that on the other side right here on Wave 105 KGUM FM in Dededo, Guam.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. Primary elections are being held in Maine, Nevada, South Carolina, and North Dakota, while the AP's made another race call in California. Republican Steve Hilton advancing to the general election for governor to face Democrat Javier Becerra, a former state attorney general.
Californians will have a real choice for change in November, whether they want to keep going with the policies that have brought us to the highest poverty rate, the highest unemployment rate, the highest cost of living in the country, whether they want more of that with Javier Becerra, or whether they want to go in a new direction.
The U.S. military has carried out new strikes on Iran following the crash of a U.S. Army Apache helicopter off the coast of Oman. President Trump blamed Iran for downing the aircraft, calling it unjustified aggression. A U.S. official tells AP the crash involved a collision with an Iranian drone. On Capitol Hill, a months-long standoff over funding for immigration enforcement is over. Jennifer King has details.
The yeas are 214. The nays are 212. The bill is passed.
It took a nearly united front for Republicans to pass a bill that would fund immigration and border enforcement agencies for the next 3 years. House Speaker Mike Johnson.
The House Republicans voted to end the Democrat Department of Homeland Security shutdown. Once and for all.
Appropriations for the president's White House ballroom and a fund to compensate Trump allies who were investigated proved toxic and were dropped from the bill. Johnson says the package is long overdue, coming months after the deaths of protesters in Minneapolis and the longest shutdown of Homeland Security in the department's history.
We have 3 full years of funding now.
House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries says Democrats still oppose the president's deportation agenda.
$70 billion in taxpayer money to give a blank check to ICE, without any guardrails, any oversight, or any accountability.
Jennifer King, Washington.
This is AP News. A former Air Canada pilot's facing charges of allegedly flying for years without a proper license.
Jeffrey Wall operated as an airline captain for more than 900 flights between 2009 and last year. But Deputy Police Chief Nick Milinovich says Wall did not have a license to fly large commercial passenger planes.
This is very similar to a doctor that is licensed to practice family medicine but is doing brain surgery in their office.
Wall is accused of using fraudulent documents to pass as a pilot. Air Canada claims safety was not compromised, and Wall was removed once it was learned he was not properly licensed. Police say he made more than $2 million as a pilot. I'm Ed Donahue.
And New York has implemented a law requiring advertisements featuring AI-generated people to clearly label them as synthetic performers. More news at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
You're listening to KGUM-FM Dededo, Wave 105.1 FM, the talk of Guam, a proud Glimpses media radio station.
You have some dough. It's lunchtime, but there's no way you would eat just dough for lunch, right? Well, the good thing is, I have some cheese. Your friend has some tomato sauce. This random guy on the street has pepperoni in his backpack. If we bring all these ingredients together, we end up with something much better than any of them alone. A savory pizza for lunch. but each of us has not only different ingredients, but also different opinions coming from our different life experiences. If we bring all these experiences and all these opinions together in friendly, civil conversation, we end up with opinions and ideas that are better than any of our individual opinions before. So if we want to come up with better ideas for a better world,
what we really need are civil, civic conversations. Pizzas. It's an American thing. AmericanThing.org.
My name is Emma. I am 13 years old. 6 years ago, I was injured in a car accident that left me paralyzed from the waist down. Once I completed rehab, my mom applied for a canine companion service dog. Last January, I finally got to meet my service dog, Marcia. We quickly developed a very strong bond. Together, we go to my horseback riding lessons, school band practice, swim meets, and archery classes. Together, we pick vegetables, and we like to cut flowers. I love Marcia. She makes me feel like together we can do anything. I can't imagine life without her. She's a part of the family. We are just one of the thousands of teams Canine Companions has paired together over the past 50 years. With your help, we can continue for another 50. Visit canine.org to see the many ways you can change lives.
I can tell that we are gonna be friends.
My name is Erica, and my son Kason is a patient at Shriners Children. My oldest called me and said Kason got burnt. The trauma doctor came in and said he needs to go to Shriners.
His injury was a big injury, and I think a testament to the care that we provide. He's fully functional. He's riding his dirt bike, doing all of the things that you would want him to do.
We're just so thankful that Kason is still here. Go online right now to loveshriners.org.
Why be at the forefront of childhood cancer research? At St. Jude, we do it because every innovation we make is a moment we give to children with cancer everywhere. But we can't do it without you. Help St. Jude give children with cancer more moments. Moments that can last a lifetime. Learn more at stjude.org.
Guam is building the future, and the right conversations start here. SCME Guam Post invites you to the 2026 Industry Forum happening July 28 through 30 at the Dusitani Resort. Join military, government, and industry leaders as they come together to discuss Guam's future in infrastructure, resilience, and regional growth. This premier event connects you to Guam's next generation of infrastructure. Registration is open. Visit GuamIndustryForum.com. The 2026 SCME Industry Forum, delivering Indo-Pacific readiness.
Half a day. This is Luella Lucinio, host of Pinas de Guam. Together with the Filipino community of Guam and Wave 105.1, we proudly celebrate Philippine Independence Month with the theme Kalayaan, Kinabukasan, Kasaysayan, Freedom, Future, History. From Guam to the Philippines, we honor our shared history, celebrate our freedom, and build our future together. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas at Guam!
The road to Adelup is here, and this time we spoke with Democrat candidates, Senator Torius Terlahi and Senator Sabina Perez. Here is your opportunity to hear how they plan to govern Guam. Watch the conversation on Wave 105's YouTube channel, dated May 28th. This is a glimpse of Guam radio station.
I begun to feel so strange. Every time I speak your name, that's funny. You say that you are so helpless.
We're 9 minutes into the hour of 3 o'clock. We are KGUM FM Wave 105. This is the Bright Side. My name is Ryan St. Nicholas. Thank you for tuning in. Here Here's the number, 671-922-1051 or 2. When you dial those numbers, it'll allow you to talk to this gentleman right here, the host of the show here on the Bright Side, Mr. Pauly Suba. Buenas.
All right, welcome back. Viva Medcliff.
Viva!
All right, so while Ryan is setting up the next video, you can just keep my audio on.
Okay.
This is the budget hearing for DPR. And so there's definitely a part that I want to get to, right? Senator Jesse Lujan wanted to ask about the water leak over at Governor Joseph Flores Memorial Park, right? Epau Beach. He's concerned that DPR is losing a large amount of money every month because of this water leak at Epau. And they confirmed that the water leak has not been resolved. There are actually several leaks. The existing pipes are old galvanized pipes, and DPR is working on a plan to fix the problem. And so if there's a leak that is costing $33,000 a month, that's about $396,000 per year.
That's a big leak.
Yes. DPR's utility request is about $948,000, meaning roughly $400 of that amount could be tied to the water leak. And so, I mean, he even says, can you imagine what you can do with $400,000 rather than paying this water bill?
Yeah, fix some benches.
Yeah.
Even the bleachers.
The current benches, the ones
Yeah.
under the pavilion.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll play it. It's about 8 minutes long, but it's basically the conversation back and forth. You're going to hear Senator Jesse Lujan. Also, the current acting director, that's Mayor Bob Lizama. So he is the acting director. You're going to hear Joey Talai, who is the deputy, but he's also the administrator for the park police. He's like, he's the park police chief, right? And so he also is in the conversation. He knows more only because he's been at DPR longer than Director Bob Lizama.
Both are good guys, very knowledgeable.
Yeah, there's a couple other people that will talk. I apologize, I don't know their names, but if you're watching our YouTube, you'll see it because we now can not just play the audio, we actually can show the footage too now. So, yeah, we're good. We can start playing it now. And so, there, I can hear him now. This is Senator Jesse Lujan asking.
DPW team, and congratulations again on your reappointment. Good to see you there.
Thank you, Senator.
Let me just ask, in the pre-budget hearing, then acting director Warren Pelletier had mentioned that the leak down at the water leak down at Joseph Flores Park, aka Epau Beach, was costing approximately $33,000 a month in water leaks. Has that been resolved?
I'll yield to the staff. I'm not familiar with this.
It has not. We've identified there is a major leak. It has not been resolved, but we're taking steps to address it. We have a plan in place. Matter of fact, I have sent a letter to the Guam Waterworks, Guam Visitors Bureau, SHPO, all the agencies that I thought would help us discuss and to fix the leak. So we're hoping on this Friday at our office we're going to meet with. I thought that I think that everybody's involved would help us come to the table. But we do. We are going to address it.
Thank you for that. How long has it been, in your estimation, that this water leak has been going on?
There's several leaks, Senator.
Okay.
And with the existing pipings, those are old galvanized pipings already.
Okay. So it's been going on for a while.
Yes.
Okay. So and that's basically my questioning is basically it's costing about $33,000 a month. Okay, for the water leaks, which equates to just under $400,000 a year annually in water leaks alone. To be specific, $396,000. So I go back to your request, utilities request. 948,000. So that means then if it's costing us about $400,000 a year in water leaks alone, so basically 400,000 of the $948,000 is based on just water leaks alone, right? Wow, that's a lot of money.
Thank you for that question, Senator. Definitely, I'm one, of course, again in my first tour, John Glenn knows that, you know, these are areas of, you know, ways we can, you know, trim.
Sure.
You know, and definitely I'll look into this scenario because, of course, understanding, yes, the hardware that's there, the piping system is old, so we got to get to a solution so we can knock down that 900 some thousand.
The other thing that Warren had mentioned before is that of course the grounds down there are I guess under the SHPO basically, right? Okay, and so that being said, there is a process able to do that. But my question is, it's been dug up before as well, and the SHPO is under you guys. So can we expedite that so we can finally fix it?
Thank you, Senator, for that. You know, there's what they call pre-existing work.
Sure.
You know, so those pipes, I'm sure, were placed there, and it had to be a duct to be placed in the first place.
Yeah.
So if we go back on record, we can always go back on that and work closely with the SHPO office in identifying this, because I see no reason why that we are having a delay. If that is the case, that if it's the SHPO that is delaying the process, which I'm not certain.
Yeah.
However,
no, I'm
that
not
is
saying
where
they
it's
are
at.
the ones, but I'm just saying if they're the impediment to that,
sure,
it's under your purview basically. So we can get that, and especially the cost of $400,000 a year. I mean, because the budget request at this point, I mean, I'm sure you can go on and tell me what you can do with $400,000 more in your budgeting, rather than again, you know, for water leaks, because we're just paying for water that's not being utilized. So do we have a timeline? I mean, Chief Chalai, you requested from these other agencies, right? Have they responded back to you? Because I mean, some of us have. I mean, these areas that you contacted, we have. I mean, I have oversight with GBB, and if we can work with them to say, hey, can you respond to them, and how can we all come together to fix it? Because that's a lot of money.
As of yesterday, no one has responded, but definitely will, after this hearing, I will conduct a follow-up.
Can we get them all then together and see how we can holistically fix this situation? So the $400,000 can go to again areas that you're short of personnel or whatever it is that you need, because we're just throwing money away.
Yes, sir.
$400,000 and how long have we been doing it? So is this $400,000 times how many years? Wow. Wow.
Senator, it's been a long time since I started in 2019. The issue is still the same.
So even if we go back 2019 times now 12 times 19, 27 years. Wow. Whoa. Man, we could have fully outfitted DPR with all that money. Wow.
Actually, SHPO Patrick Lahan had given us his blessings to proceed with the upkeep of the water. Okay. So we just need to come up with a plan.
Okay.
And submit it to Patrick.
So that being said, I guess the piping, the overall piping there is done, right? So I guess if you're gonna take the holistic fix on that, you're probably anticipating a park being closed down for a while, right? I mean, I guess the usage of the park for the holistic fix, right?
Not necessarily. Thank you for that question, Senator. So to answer your question, so we do have a plan that we're trying to come up, finalize it, right? So what we want to do is redo the whole piping system from the main meter and run the line just strictly only for the restrooms and the outside showers. So we're going to eliminate the existing pipings on the sink area with the barbecue place.
So you want to bypass the existing water line
terminate
right now?
from there and then rerun a new line.
Okay.
PVC pipes, preferably.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I mean, whatever it is that we can do, like I said, Chief July, the agencies that you mentioned that you contacted, some of us have oversight to those agencies. So if you can communicate with us and let us know how we can help and have them work in coordination with you guys to be able to get this done, because it's all in our. I mean, we have to come together to get this done. And that's just one park. I mean, do you have other parks that are leaking as well?
Yes, we do, Senator. We have Fisheye, then we have Matapang. Usually, we'll repair the showers or things like that. And next day,
So we have the same problems then with the piping again as well.
No, just minor breaks.
Okay.
But repairable.
Okay, so it's not the major infrastructure that goes in there. Okay.
Not like EPAL.
Okay.
And then EPAN Public Beach again. We need to redo the whole piping there again. Surf site.
Well, okay. So please, again, Mr. Director, if you just get back to us and let us know how we can assist you. Again, with the other agencies, if they're not responding.
Yes, actually, we just got word that Waterworks has responded, and the meeting has been set for Friday.
Okay.
And from there, we can get back to you on this issue.
Great, because I have oversight of Waterworks as well.
Yeah. And as far as closing down EPA, I don't think, of course, that will be part of the plan.
Sure.
We can piecemeal. I mean, we have 2 restroom facilities there, and we can work with one while the other one is being repaired. And I know that we'll come back and we'll share the plan.
That's great. I just want to remove that. $33,000 a month, $400,000 a year, and Chief July, since you were there at 2019. So now, wow, $400,000 a year times 7 years at least at this point. That's a lot of money. We can give you to better outfit your park patrol and everything else that you guys have.
I understand.
Build a couple more swimming pools.
Yes, it's obvious that we see at least this is the first seeing the actual numbers in terms of utilities that. Is normally the norm is normally GPA's bill is higher than Waterworks, and even at any homes, right? But in this case, we see on DPR's inventory is that, of course, the water meters are spinning, much quicker than what is being consumed on the power side. So definitely, I've asked the deputy to remind me on this. I want to do a check mark on this and find out how we can get this thing resolved and bring the numbers down. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chairman.
So again, when you look at the situation, the water leak has existed at EPAL Beach since 2019, at least 2019. And so obviously there's a strong reaction there. He said that money could have been used to buy equipment, support park patrol, improve facilities, or even help build more. I think he was just joking a little bit about that, or even build more pools, municipal pools.
That'll be a small pool.
And of course, DPR wants to replace the old water system. They plan to stop using the old underground pipe system and install a new line. So the idea is to run a new PVC water line from the main meter, use the new line only for restrooms and outdoor showers, eliminate water service to some sinks and barbecue areas, and then bypass the old leaking pipes instead of trying to keep repairing them. And so they may allow work to be done in phases without fully closing EPAL Beach. Now, there are questions about the SHPO, right? And so how is the SHPO handling this issue? Because EPAL Beach is a protected area, digging at the park can require additional review or approval. And so they're wondering whether the SHPO's requirements were slowing the repairs. And then that's when you heard one of the individuals say that the SHPO has given blessings to proceed with the water repairs, but DPR still needs to finalize a plan and then submit it. And so there are other parks that also have water problems, like Fisheye and the Matapang area, and also EPAN Public Beach and Surfside as well. DPR said EPAN may also need a full pipe replacement. They should be meeting on Friday, and that's definitely something that I want to track and reach out to either DPR or even the new acting director of DPR and see after that meeting on Friday how it went. You know, how are they going to work this out, and just get to the bottom of this and definitely fix those water leaks, right? And so we can stop those water bills from happening. There were a number of other things too that they were talking about in the hearing. Contract questions. They asked about the current contracts with Guam Cleaning Masters with restroom maintenance and JJ Global's pool maintenance. And so again, they bring up some of the DPR contracts with TGWAT. And so they said Comfort Cup's contract was terminated in February for non-compliance. So that got brought up again. There are some lifeguard staffing issues that were discussed. DPR has struggled to hire full-time lifeguards because of pay and recruitment issues. And so they were talking about how DPR may need to consider different models, such as contracting part-time lifeguards or using a larger pool of workers who can cover shifts instead of relying only on full-time classified positions that remain vacant. DPR says that it is worth exploring, especially since G4S visitor safety officers are already supporting some safety operations.
Yeah.
3:25 in the afternoon. On the other side of the break, I want to. Obviously, we're not on until 5. I get off at 4 on Wednesdays, so we won't be doing Good News for a Change in the 5 o'clock hour. I still want to do it. I will do it on the other side of the 5 o'clock. I mean, of this break.
Sure.
But I have a whole story that we can share when we get there, and I'm a sucker for those the dogs that are in animal shelters. So there's this really heartwarming story that I saw, and I even fact checked it to double check and see if this is really happening. And so we'll get to it on the other side of the break. But you want to get to
let's do traffic.
Yeah, and then we'll just hit the break right after. Yeah.
3:26 in the afternoon. Let's look at the roads of Guam. Our first look at traffic, proudly being brought to you by Guam Auto Spot. Along with Guam Auto Spot, Pauly Suba is going to help you move forward on your daily commute. Buenas.
All right, I am seeing some congestion already on Route 1 Marine Corps Drive before you hit St. John's School, right after Chinese Park. So just be on the lookout for that. Also, right before you get to Village of Donkey, there's some delays there trying to make a left turn onto Epal Road as well, and even continuing straight onto Route 1. Also want to let you know that according to the Guam Transportation Program, between the days of June 8th through the 13th, there are contractor crews out on Route 10. They're going to be working at various locations along Route 10 throughout this week. Intermittent lane closures in both directions are expected during work hours, mostly between 9 and 4 p.m. They're striping workout over by Corton, Taurus, and Route 10 intersection. And then on Saturday, June 13th, from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., they're doing some pavement repairs at the Route 10 and Route 4 intersection. And so some of us have seen that. I know Ryan has seen that a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
The pavement repair that happens at that Route 10 and Route 4 intersection, right?
Definitely.
Sunday, June 14th, there's no work that's scheduled. Work may be performed from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. if needed. Once again, helping you move forward on this Wednesday, that is Guam Auto Spot. Schedule that test drive today. Call them up, 478 Auto. View their inventory on their website at guamautospot.com.
Island Voices, Island Conversations. Wave 105, the talk of Guam.
It's time to open up the pantry and add some serious kick to your cooking. Welcome to a very flavorful edition of the National Day Spotlight for June 10th.
While we celebrate National Herbs and Spices Day by elevating our favorite meals, one of our favorite culinary sensations was actually engineered as a biological weapon. Chili peppers naturally produce a chemical compound called capsaicin, which triggers an intense burning sensation when consumed. In the wild, plants develop this chemical defense mechanism specifically to deter mammals from eating their pods and crushing their seeds. However, the evolutionary trick completely backfired when it came to humans. Instead of avoiding the pain, our ancestors fell in love with the fiery chemical reaction. What was meant to be a poisonous warning label became the foundational ingredient for global cuisine, proving humans will happily eat a plant's defenses just for the thrill.
I'm not a huge fan of really hot food.
Yes.
A little kick is fine, but the really hot, no. But I do know that this works because my brother plants hot peppers between their flowers.
Okay.
And nothing eats them.
Really?
They
Interesting.
grow and are beautiful.
That's a great idea.
Yes. We are also celebrating National Iced Tea Day and National Egg Roll Day. I'm Alice Anderson.
And I'm Arlo Anderson with National Day Calendar, reminding you to celebrate every day.
If you're looking for world-class website hosting at a fair price, Pair Networks is your best choice. Whether you're a professional web designer or a beginner just getting your site online, Pair Networks has a web hosting plan that's right for you. Log on and learn more at pair.com. That's PAIR.com. Pair Networks, world-class web hosting at a fair price. Visit us at pair.com. Pair Networks.
Registering a domain name on the web? You should know about Pairnick. Pairnick offers .com names at a great price with quality service you expect. Because Pairnick is powered by internet leader Pair Networks. Whether you need a domain name for business or personal use, Pairnick is your best choice. Remember Pairnick when you need a domain name. That's PAIRNIC.com. Pairnick.
Where's my phone? Where's my internet? What happened to my church? What happened to my house? My phone, my newspaper, my internet, my church, now my house? How did this all happen?
Freedom. It's an American thing. From AmericanThing.org.
Hungry and need gas? Mobile's got you covered. Now through July 31st, Mobile Smiles app members can enjoy a free 6-inch Subway sandwich with every minimum fill-up of $30 gas at any Guam mobile station. Available exclusively on the mobile app. It's an easy summer win. Fuel up, open the app, and enjoy the rewards. Not a member yet? Pick up a Mobile Smiles card at any mobile location and register today. Mobile and Subway, a great deal for the summer. See store for details.
Attention all 2026 graduates! Looking for the perfect spot to celebrate your big achievement? Chili's is the best place to be. Just show proof of graduation and enjoy a complimentary meal on us. Now through June 30th. It's our way of saying congrats. Some restrictions apply. Visit chilisguam.com/special promos for more details. Only at Chili's. Great food and memories happen here.
Celebrate Father's Day with Power 98 and Wave 105 as we honor our first heroes. To enter, send a WhatsApp message or call in and share your funniest or most heartfelt dad story. Winners will be revealed from June 15th to June 19th, and you can win your dad a special bundle prize. Stay locked in to Power 98 and Wave 105. Brought to you by Guam Plaza Resort, Nana's Cafe, Roots Grill House, AutoWorks, Jollibee, Proline, and Cream and Butter.
The road to Adelup is here, and this time we spoke with Democrat candidates, Senator Torres Terlahi and Senator Sabina Perez. Here is your opportunity to hear how they plan to govern Guam. Watch the conversation on Wave 105's YouTube channel, dated May 28th. This is a Glimpses of Guam radio station.
I'll play the street light because there's no place I can go. Street light, it's the only life I know. Street light,
6:04 in the afternoon. Welcome back to the show. 671-922-1051 or 2. That's the phone line number that allows you to talk to this gentleman right here, the host of the Bright Side, Mr. Pauly Suba.
All right, welcome back. Appreciate you hanging out with us on this Wednesday. Biba Metcalf.
Biba.
So here's some good news for a change. It's all brought to you by Provisions Wine and Cheese. They are open until 3 p.m. Monday through Saturday. From 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Here's the number, 671-633-9463. Place your order today and visit their website, provisionsguam.com. And so, some good news for today. It's a TikTok video that I found on, I found this video on TikTok. It's about a dog named Pedro, who is a senior shelter dog. He's around 8 years old. He arrived at a shelter in, Washington? At the, let me see here. He was at the Kennewick, Washington Animal Shelter. This is the Benton Franklin Humane Society in Kennewick, Washington. And so, unfortunately, he was brought to the shelter because his family got picked up from ICE. They were deported.
Oh, man.
So at this, and it wasn't just Pedro. There were a couple other dogs that were tied up at the home. So, the city took the dogs and they took them to the shelter. And then there was this video that went viral of Pedro being adopted. However, that it didn't work out for the family. The family returned Pedro like just a week later. Here comes the good news. A family from Vancouver, Vancouver, Canada. So they cross state lines, went down to this animal shelter, and they adopted Pedro. And what's cool in the video, if you watch the video, as soon as he heard this family speaking Spanish, his tail started wagging because his family speaks to him in Spanish. His name's Pedro, right? And so it was just 3 videos on TikTok from a woman by the name of Julie Saracino, and it looks like she works at the animal shelter. It's unclear if she's just a volunteer or she runs it. But the one video where she was sad, where she receives Pedro and she's cuddling Pedro and, consoling and just giving him cuddles and nice ear rubs, right? Those always seem to work for dogs, right? Mm-hmm. And you can tell how sad this dog is. He lost his family. And then there was some good news that he was being adopted. However, it didn't work out.
Maybe the first family didn't speak Spanish. That's probably the reason why it didn't work out.
Maybe. It's like he's not sitting.
Yeah.
Right? He's not listening to us. You got to speak Spanish to Pedro.
If it was a Chamorro dog.
Right.
Yeah.
Patatsung. My dogs do. I do. I'm learning Chamorro words using phrases for my dog. My dogs know more Chamorro than me. Yeah, they sit when I say fatatsung. Yeah.
Yeah,
Malafen boca, and they go over and they eat.
Yeah, boonies actually know this one. Honda.
Yeah. So, it was really good news to see the latest video again from a family driving down again to pick up Pedro. And so hopefully it does work out. But that's what I've been noticing about TikTok. Man, that TikTok community is strong, very strong. Like they support each other. There's a lot of engagement going on in TikTok. So when people are like, I don't like TikTok, that's for kids. I'm like, I don't know, you should try it out. Obviously any kind of social media platform is pretty toxic. But when you find your circle, when you find your community on TikTok, it shapes your algorithm too. So you can get far, far away from those people real quick.
Yeah.
Because you just block them, and then you shape what you want to see.
Yeah, my groups are usually Shih Tzu groups.
Yeah, see? Your girls, right? You rescued them, right? Or they were given to you because they couldn't hold on to their dogs?
Actually, my first Shih Tzu, the older one, Elle.
Be careful how you say Shih Tzu.
Yeah. I actually got her from one of our radio sisters, Kai the Panay.
Yeah. Wow, that's a long time
That was
ago.
a long time ago, yeah.
You still have her? She's still...
Yeah, she got her back in
Nice.
2017 and still going strong.
Wow, okay.
And then
So she's
yeah.
a lot older then.
Yeah, the puppy one I found on the road.
Okay. See, you did rescue her.
Yeah, and took her to the vet, no chips, no nothing. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep you. She's a little nuisance, but yeah, I mean, but I recently got them both groomed, and man, when she came out, I was like, wow, she was a beautiful baby. So yeah, and we called her Baby.
There you go. Again, the shelter dog named Pedro in Washington is melting hearts online. Again, his family was deported, leaving him and his siblings behind. He was tied outside their home. Volunteers stepped in, and Pedro ended up at a humane society where he waited for a second chance. After going viral on TikTok, his story touched thousands, and now he's finally been adopted by a family from Vancouver, Canada. I always get that mixed up because there is a Vancouver, Washington. But no, this is a family from Canada. So now Pedro is Canadian. So there you go. Some good news right here on Wave 105. 3:41 in the afternoon. Let's see here. Again, Senor Ron Laguana is going to be taking over again every Wednesday. Oden Fino tomorrow. Sponsored by the University of Guam Tomorrow Studies Program. He's got some guests coming in. So I believe it is Senator Mary Camacho Torres. She's running for Congress, right? Delegate for Congress. So she'll be in. And that's obviously gonna be special because the whole show is in tomorrow, right?
Nice.
Yeah, and then I think Chris Flores was here already, but I guess he's gonna be back because Chris Flores was on Vet Talk today, so he'll be back. And Chris Flores is also part of a veterans organization, if I'm not mistaken. That's the whole reason why he was in earlier. A veterans organization called, I think it's also HMI. I could be wrong. Maybe it's another veterans organization, right? Because there are many. It could be a different one. But yeah, that's what is set for Oden Fino tomorrow today. I did see this release from Senator Vince Borja.
Okay.
He wants to do an oversight on GDOE school closures and also the closure of JP Torres Success Academy, right? Also on the docket is school readiness and fiscal year 2027 budget preparations. This one is not until June 24th at 9 a.m. So June 24th, if I'm looking at our UOGC grant calendar, that's Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday at 9 a.m. The hearing will focus on GDOE school closure and consolidation plans, the closure of JP Torres Success Academy, school readiness for school year 2026-2027, special education services, facilities and maintenance concerns, and the department's financial position ahead of fiscal year 2027's 2027 budget session. Senator Borja says the people of Guam deserve transparency, accountability, and a clear plan for our public schools. Our students, teachers, support staff, and parents deserve confidence that GDOE leadership and the Guam Education Board are working together with urgency, competence, and honesty. He's also requesting site visits to Marshall Sablan Elementary School, Harry S. Truman, Marito Martyrs, Talafofo Elementary, Inalahan Elementary, and MU Lujan Elementary, right? Because those are the schools that get mentioned about possibly closing.
But didn't superintendent say that she's not going to go through with the closure?
Oh, she didn't say that. She said the conversation has to happen.
Okay.
Because of the finances and because it is costly to run all of these facilities. She said there's no clear cut response to closing the schools. They're not confirming that schools will be closed. They're just continuing the conversation that Superintendent Eric Swanson's team had, right? Because again, it's no secret that, again, the population of school students are declining, right? But those are the only schools that are in question. Now, will all 6 schools close? More than likely not. But those are the 6 that could. Of those 6 could. And you can consolidate. I mean, if we're just looking at Harry S. Truman and Marshall Sablon, Harry S. Truman is up the hill. Marshall Sablon is down.
Yeah.
So can you consolidate both those populations into one school? I think I remember hearing Angel Sablon at one time saying you could. However, you're going to have to put those kids in those temporary buildings there, the ones that have been temporary for decades, right, over at Marshall Sablon.
Yeah.
And is that safe to do so? So again, the conversation needs to happen. Now, we were just talking to Dr. Ron McNinch yesterday, right, on the survey, but also because he's on the board. And he also said that there's no word whatsoever, any confirmation that schools will close before the school year opens, right? So there's that too. Somebody's on the line or not anymore?
We have Kaduku.
Okay, yeah. Hafide Kaduku, you're on the air.
No.
All right, feel free to call back. Sorry, I was just finishing our thought before we moved on,
We
right?
have
Because
Jason on.
Oh, Jason, awesome.
And I think he wants to talk about his dad.
Let's go, Jason. Hafide, Jason, you're on the air.
Hey, Pauly.
Hafide.
All right. Hey, no, I was listening to a lot of people telling stories, and I was like, man, I wonder.
Let's do it, Jason.
Okay.
Yes, and you're eligible too. You're eligible.
Oh, cool.
Okay, go for it.
Well, I have 4 really short stories.
Let's go.
That really remind me of my dad. Number 1, days before I was actually going to go take my road test, and this was back in the day. A lot of kids would be like, "What?" When we used to take a road test, you would get the laminated permit, and then you would actually go and take your road test, because back then you could just take the test, the written test, and you get a permit. Days before I went to go get my road test, before I was 16, or when I turned 16, my dad took me to my mom's work up at GCC because they had a huge parking lot there.
Okay.
And this is the day before the test, and that's when he said, "You're going to learn how to parallel park." I'm like, "Dad, I'm taking the test tomorrow. How am I going to learn this in one day?" He took a pylon, those cone pylons, those orange ones,
right,
and a broomstick or a broom, and he measured it from the edge of one of the parking spots over there at GCC, and he showed me how to angle the vehicle and everything. And once he said that once you start backing up and you're already halfway, the vehicle's halfway through the broom, that's when you turn the wheel. And lo and behold, when I did that, I was like, oh my God, I actually parallel parked. So my dad taught me how to parallel park.
There you go.
With a broom.
Wow.
Which was weird. And I got,
I still remember my first time. Apparently, there was this at Rev Tax when they were doing the test. I
had the big tires.
The guy's name was Enforcer, and I was
that the old man?
Right? Is that what his nickname was, or Terminator? I think it was Terminator.
The old man with the.
I felt I failed the first time just because I was intimidated immediately.
Yeah. So. I remember the old man. He was very intimidating. He was my instructor.
Yeah.
So that was one. The second one is, my dad. Back in the day, we used to cut our own grass with lawn boy lawnmowers. We used to buy parts at Marbles. That was where the new GPD precinct is.
Okay.
Well, he would get parts there. The thing I remember about my dad is when he taught us how to fix, small motors for a lawn boy, he taught me how to actually clean the carburetor, but he also showed me a trick where if you actually tighten the spring, the carburetor flap will actually come closer, and the motor of the lawnmower will actually move faster.
Okay.
So I ended up modifying my own lawnmower to cut the copy.
Wow, this is even before the 4-wheel lawnmowers?
Yes, this is just a regular push lawnmower.
I remember those.
Lawn Boy.
Yeah.
So that's story number 2. Number 3 is the one that I'll always remember is when I was a senior at FD, our very first game when we played GW. And this is the game in 1990 where we actually beat GW and took them off their dynasties from the 80s.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Wow. So were you the start of the FD football dynasty? Because they never they only
we
lost.
were known as the Maroon Wall. So
There
and
you
I
go.
have that video. I actually converted it into a flash drive because the great memory of that is
right
when my brothers used to play back in the 70s.
Yeah.
My dad never really had time to go to their games.
Okay.
But when we started that game, the field was full. Both sides were just packed with cars, and everybody was there. You know, and I played Ironman football. I never got off the field, but I played first team, offense, defense, and special teams.
Wow.
And right when we started the game, I started looking, along the sidelines. And that back then, everybody was still able to come close to the field. My dad was there. And I saw my dad, and I couldn't be any more proud than that. I was like, oh, my God, my dad's here, And he was just smiling. I was like, when I told my brothers, I said, wow, that's weird, man. You're so lucky. Dad never came to our games, but he came to your games. And he was really proud of me because that's when we beat GW, and I scored the last touchdown.
Wow.
Great story. I just don't like the content of beating GW.
Why, Ryan? You're GW?
Yeah, I was there.
Okay.
Oh wow, right? Yeah.
Ryan is GW.
You're 91 too,
yes.
I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. And I actually had the first sack of the year, so I sacked Robert Antolon.
It was a good game though. Very good game.
Yeah, it was hard. It was a hard game. But and then
wow, that's really cool too, because that rivalry continues today, and it went full circle, right? Because for so long, FD is just running through teams, and GW broke that record that hasn't been broken in forever.
Yeah, I think
and
GW
that was the game of the year because GW held that title
for about 5 years.
Correct.
For
Yes.
about 5 years. Yeah.
And when everybody in my class, we said, man, this is it. This is going to be the year we're going to break GW streak. And then I really prepared for that game really, really hard. But it was just heartwarming to know my dad was actually there.
Yeah.
And I have video of him at that game.
Nice.
Very nice.
And then the fourth story, this one really, comes to, it touches my heart because that year when I left for college, I got sick, and that's when I lost my vision. And I got sick on August 21st, 1991. I was in a coma for 2.5 months. So when I got sick, my whole family flew out there. And then they just kept praying and hoping and hoping. And then on the last night, October 12th, that was it. I suffered from encephalitis, vasculitis, and then it was systemic lupus. And the doctors told my family, I'm sorry, there's nothing else we can do for your son. We're going to allow you guys to go ahead in there and just have a moment with your son because he's not going to make it through the night. So my lungs collapsed, my kidneys collapsed, my liver was failing, everything was dropping. I was clinically classified as brain dead already. And they said, please go ahead and have a moment. So they were all there. Then the weird thing was, while everybody was praying and they were crying, that's when I actually left my body. And I actually died for 2 minutes. And I saw my family. I saw everybody. And I even saw my grandfather who was waiting for me up in heaven. He was the one that was actually going to take me in. And then, and he died in 1976. And then I saw so many other things, as well. Being raised Catholic, I was supposed to go, but the Blessed Mother was there to also help me go in. And I cried to her and I said, I can't go. I cannot leave my family. I want to go with you, but I can't leave my family. And I kept begging her. I said, please, can I have one more chance? And then she smiled. And then the next thing I know, she was, fading upward and I was going down. I came back into my body. And, that day, the following day, October 13th, that's when I came out of a coma, and the doctors couldn't believe it. The funny thing is, when I came out of a coma, I could hear my dad saying, okay, boy, we're going to go to Mass. We're going to, pray for you, and hopefully you'll get better. And then the first words I said was, what about me? And my dad freaked out and goes, staying in Chamorro. Manamagi said, when they see Jason, he's awake. And they were rushing in, and that date was October 13th, was also the feast day of Our Lady of Fatima, and that's also my father's birthday.
Wow.
So I came back, on my dad's birthday. And that's, I'll always remember that. I even wrote a story about it. That was the most craziest thing, and I'll always remember that. And that's when my family kept crying, and they're like, what are you guys crying for? What's going on? And then, things started happening after months that I found out I got sick. But October 13th, 1991 will always be a day I'll remember not only my dad's birthday, Our Lady, the feast day of Our Lady of Fatima, but it's also the day where I actually came back.
Wow.
That's a powerful story.
You're a winner in my book.
Right. Thanks for sharing that, Jason. I really appreciate it because, again, that's, when we think about our loved ones, right, that's how they live on. They live on through our stories from us sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I wanted to share with everybody because, that's, whenever I think about my dad and all the things he taught me,
right.
That's one thing is, and the weird thing about that, when I came out of a coma, they said that the doctors didn't understand. Everything shut down, everything. The only thing that was still working hard and strong was my heart.
Wow. Great.
It was pumping blood, and they couldn't understand that, but everything failed.
Wow.
That's what happened.
So just for an update, how are you doing today right now?
Oh, man. Pauly can attest to that. To this day, I'm probably healthier than that because I'm currently preparing for my October 16th bodybuilding show.
There you go.
Which will be my 24th consecutive year of bodybuilding.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I started competing in 2001. And I document this on Facebook. I've been recording little bits and bits of me working out and getting ready. Even like little stuff here and there, just talking about life and everything.
Right. You're one of the most inspirational individuals that I know, but also just in this region. And so, it's such a blessing to know that you are a counselor because all of that is just contagious. Like people are instantly inspired when you share your story.
And I share these stories mostly with my students because, when they go through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I start sharing things like that. They're like, wow, Mr. B, thank you so much.
Yeah. And some of our own issues just become, it doesn't even compare. And so people start to realize, this is just temporary. Look at what Jason has overcome.
Correct. And if I can add to that, I actually met up with two of my students that graduated 16 years ago, and they consider me their dad.
There you go.
They got a hold of me, and all I see is this message on Messenger, like, hi, Dad. I'm like, oh, my God. And then they met up with me, and we had dinner because they missed me so much, and they wanted to actually just see how I was doing.
There you go, Jason.
I started crying. I was like,
Yeah.
And their parents love me, too. They're like, you are their dad. You're their dad in school because, you took care of them. I'm like, no, it started at the home.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thanks for the story. Thanks for always just being part of the Wave family. Always grateful, Jason. Talk to you real soon.
Jay, let me.
Okay.
Just hold on. I'm going to get your number, and then Pauly will put you on the
There
list.
you go.
All right.
Thanks,
Okay.
Pauly.
All right,
Don't
take
worry,
care.
we'll talk more football later.
Absolutely. All right, take care. We are KGUM FM Deredo Guam. Like I mentioned, don't go anywhere. Odin Finu Tomorrow is coming up, brought to you by the UOG Tomorrow Studies program. Coming up, we've got some special guests, too. Senor Ron Laguardia just told me that they are going to be having Senator Mary Camacho Torres, who, again, we all know is not a secret. She's running for Congresswoman, right? And so she'll be in, and then Mr. Chris Flores is going to be back. I believe it's the same Chris Flores that was on earlier today. And so he should be in the studio from 5 to 6 right here for Odin Finu Tomorrow. So it should be very special. It always is. Always grateful and blessed to be able to provide a program like Odin Finu Tomorrow to our listeners. And I'm also getting reactions, too, on YouTube that people from the diaspora are always wanting to tune in on YouTube to also be part of the conversation and just listen. And it takes them right back to home. And so it is a blessing to be able to provide this program. Thanks to the University of Guam Tomorrow Studies program. And definitely thanks to Senor Ron Laguardia and Senor Hale, who hosts the program. 4 o'clock, KGUM FM in Deredo, Guam. Everybody be kind to each other, especially out on those roads. Adios.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. U.S. forces have been carrying out strikes on Iran again after the downing of a U.S. helicopter. Lisa Dwyer has details.
The U.S. military says it has begun strikes following the crash of a U.S. Army Apache helicopter off the coast of Oman. That President Trump